is Jean Piaget? Jean Piaget, 1896–1980, was a Swiss psychologist who studied child development. He believed children actively explore and learn through their environment, and his theory explains how their thinking and understanding develop as they grow.
Good day, everyone. I am Janizel P. Soliano, and today we are going to tackle about the Jean Piaget theory. So, Jean Piaget has four basic concepts of development. So, the first one is the schema, assimilation, accommodation, and last one is the equilibration. So, this four basic concept is mura na siya og step by step or the process sa isa ka bata. So, the first one is the schema. So, when we say schema, it means a mental framework used to understand and organize experiences. So, every one of us has a schema. So, ang atong example kung isang isa ka bata. So, for example, a child has a schema of a dog. Kay ang pagtuo sa bata, ang iro is na ay four legs, tail, ug mubark with ang iro. The next one is the assimilation. So when we say assimilation, it means fitting new information into existing schemas. So for example, the child sees a cat for the first time and calls it a dog. It is because it also has four legs and usa po ni siya ka animal. So it means they use their existing schema of dog to interpret the cat. Next is the accommodation. So when we say accommodation, it means creating or adjusting schemas when new information doesn't fit. So for example, after being corrected, the child learns that a cat is different from a dog. So in short, they modify their schema by adding a dog barks and a cat meows. So the last one is the equilibration. Okay, when we say equilibration, it is a balancing between the assimilation and the accommodation to make sense of the world. So imbalance cognitive conflict, which motivates learning. So, for example, the child now correctly identifies both dogs and cats without confusing. So, wala na siya galibog. It is because nakabalo na siya ug unsa ang dog ug unsa pud ang cat. So, in short, they have reached equilibrium because their schemas match the reality. The next topic is the four major cognitive development of Jean Piaget, which has the sensory motor stages from 0 to 2 years old. Next is the pre-operational stage from 2 to 7 years old. And next is the concrete operational stage from 7 to 11 years old. And last one is the formal operational stage from 12 up years old that will be discussed to my co-reporter.
So hello everyone, I am Rhea Balcabonilas and I will going to discuss about the sensory motor stage and pre-operational stage. The first is sensory motor stage, 0 to 2 years old. The sensory motor stage is the first stage in Piaget theory of cognitive development from birth to about 2 years old, where infants learn about the world mainly through their senses: seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, and motor activities: grasping, crawling, sucking, throwing. In this stage, babies don't think with words yet. Instead, they explore and understand their surroundings by interacting physically with objects. Their intelligence is shown through actions rather than thoughts or language. The most important milestone of this stage is object permanence, the understanding that objects continue to exist even if they cannot be seen, heard, or touched. Before this, babies think that when something is out of sight, it no longer exists. But once they develop object permanence, they will search for hidden toys or recognize that their parents still exist even if they leave the room. So, I have here an example about the sensory motor stage. First, a 6-month-old baby drops a toy on the floor. At first, the baby does not look for it because they think it's gone. Later, as they develop object permanence, the baby starts looking under the chair or crib to find the toy. The second example of the sensory motor stage, a 1-year-old baby shakes a rattle and enjoys the sound. The baby learns that their action is shaking. Causes a reaction is the sound. The pre-operational stage is the second stage in Piaget theory of cognitive development, ages 2 to 7 years old. At this stage, children begin to use symbols, words, images, and imagination to represent the world, but their thinking still not logical and it's often centered only on their own perspective. However, children in this stage do not yet think logically like older kids or adults. Their thinking is still very concrete, based on what they can see and experience, and often egocentric, meaning they believe everyone sees the world the way they do. The first example of pre-operational stage is a 4-year-old child pretends that a stick is a magic, a wand, or a sword, even though it's just a piece of wood. The child uses imagination to represent it as something else.
Good day everyone, I am Mia C. Marina. So today, we will continue exploring Jean Piaget's 4 stages of cognitive development. Specifically, we'll focus on the 3rd and 4th stages, the concrete operational stage and the formal operational stage. Let's get started. So let's talk about first the concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years old. During this time, children develop logical thinking about tangible objects and events but still struggle with abstract concepts. It includes the ability to understand conversation, the concept of reversibility, and inductive reasoning, enabling them to organize and understand the concrete world more effectively. So I have an example here of concrete operational stage. Example, if a child sees that adding 2 apples and more 2 apples always give 4, they start applying the logic consistently. They can solve problems, follow rules, and classify objects more effectively. So that's it about concrete operational stage. I hope you learned something about that stage. So let's talk about the last stage, the formal operational stage, 12 years and up. The 4th and final stage of cognitive development in Jean Piaget's theory. It is characterized by the ability to think abstractly, formulate hypotheses, and apply hypothetical inductive reasoning to systematically solve problems. Individuals in this stage can understand complex concepts like justice, debate moral issues, and think critically about different perspectives. So I have here another example of formal operational stage. Example, teenagers can think about what might happen if scenarios, debate moral issues, and reflect critically on their own thoughts. The ability to plan ahead and solve complex problems improved significantly. So that's it for a formal operational stage. To sum it up, in the concrete operational stage, children develop logical thinking about real-world situations. And in the formal operational stage, individuals begin to think critically and abstractly, preparing them for adulthood. These 2 stages play a vital role in shaping how we understand, reason, and interact with the world. Thank you for listening. We hope you learned something new about Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Bye!